everybody, this is Mary.
And this is Julie.
And you are listening to the High Priestess Hype Club. So
hello, friends.
Hello. So this episode, we're not quite sure how it's going to turn out yet, because we got all these ideas that we're going to talk about. So
it's like season 1 all over again.
Well, we know you've missed this part. We know you've missed this.
That's right.
You've missed it. But we do have we do have a little bit of structure around it.
Which is an improvement from season 1. So we're not totally off base from what we planned for this season.
Right.
We just thought it up 3 minutes ago. Right. We decided to record.
Yeah. So here we are. But we were talking, and we will do this episode at some point. We were talking about looking at the charts of Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, because they are doing things in their relationship that are like, astrology will be all over this,
Yeah.
And her Venus is retrograde in Leo, so we'll have time to talk about this later. But
yes,
but we got into talking about money and money manifestation. And so, like, Julie, you had that phrase that I thought, like, we wanted to get this out to you guys because it sounded so good. Like, that's, but what was it? Because I was talking about money. Money's a thing, right? Like, we want more money or saving money, or how do I spend this money? Do I spend it here? Whatever. And then you said,
make room for money to come in the right way.
Yes.
Like, it'll show up how it needs to show up, and you have to be able to make room for that.
Right. And so it's like, and like, that blew me away, guys. That's why we're like, I'm recording this right now, because I was like, everybody needs to hear this. It's so true. Because sometimes, like, I'll tell you guys, like, just me being someone who's in the service industry and has clients, it's like, well, I want to service my clients, but then I also don't want to, like, die in the process. We were talking about me talking to a client, we have tornado watches here in Massachusetts. And then I was saying, I didn't want to disappoint her. And you said, well, you won't, because, the money's going to come in the right way, whatever way.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, if we just looked at it like that, because
it makes a difference. Am I good at doing that for myself? No.
But that's why we're talking about it.
People, like,
but it's true.
Own their own business, and sometimes you start worrying about how it's going to come in and what's going to happen, and that doesn't mean that we're like not doing anything, guys. It's not just like that, like Debbie Gibson hat manifestation level of like, should I cut that?
Oh, Debbie, I love you. We love Debbie, though.
I loved her too, and I feel like the hat has been co-opted, and it pisses me off. This is like first season, but but where it's just like the right thing comes in. It's not a toxic positivity thing. No, it's not like toxic manifestation stuff. It's the same thing as, like, if you're trying to find a job, you do the work to find a job, and the right job comes in the right way. Right. Because we can't control every little thing about it as much as we want to. And sometimes you can't see how it's going to work the right way.
Yeah.
But when you're, working with it, and you've got the intention in the right place, and like canceling because there are flood warnings and tornado warnings,
watch. Yeah.
Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Right.
You don't want to get hurt. You don't want your client to get hurt. No. They have options for later, and the money will come in the right way.
Yeah.
Sometimes clients leave and it feels like, oh my God, I lost this person. What am I going to do? And it's like, well, they can be making room for the right person to show up. Sometimes you got to open it up for the people who need to come in and need you next.
Right. So, I think what I have to do for me, and again, I'm being vulnerable here, guys, but thank you. I love you, Jules. Well, because then I feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable. So here we are.
Yeah.
I always worry, like, I'm going to lose somebody. Like, I think that's the big thing. Like, my clients are amazing. Y'all who are listening, you're amazing. It's just, you worry about, like, am I servicing the person in the right way for what they need? And, and I was a little worried today about saying to a client, like, I can't drive into my office to see you. It just doesn't fit with all, and I don't want them to drive, because they were also driving to my office, and so, but then you get this worry, like, are they going to be upset? Are they going to be mad? Whatever. And two things. One was, you had said to me, well, listen, if they're upset, then you're making the room, which I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Right. Because maybe it is not meant to be. But the other thing is like, just not anticipating that's going to go bad. Like, I may text her and say, hey, this is what the weather is. Here's some options. And she may be like, oh, thank God, which
Right.
does happen sometimes. Like, I
Right.
always worry, like, am I going to disappoint them? Are they going to be upset? And immediately I don't know about y'all, but I go to like, oh my God, they're going to be upset at me. Like, oh my, I'm like bracing for impact, where a lot of times they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that whole like making the room for it is really important, because I say things like that, like, okay, you lost that job or you didn't get that job. Okay, well, maybe it's room for the even better position to come through.
Right. Right.
And when we're manifesting, like, well, yeah, that didn't come through. Well, maybe it wasn't.
I know that we even talked about this like a few years ago when I was at a different job and I couldn't see how things were gonna like expand, but we were like, but you've set all up the stuff, you're getting these messages in that like it's going to be better, and I couldn't see past how it would be, and it took leaving that job and finding and moving to another for that to keep expanding. But at the time I was like, I can't see past this one job I'm in and how I could move within that company. And I was just like,
yep.
Yeah,
it's true. We get focused in on one thing instead of thinking about all the possibilities.
Right.
And let's be honest, when we're human, we want something. Like, I want that job, so I am going to get that job.
Right.
And sometimes the spirits are like, ooh, yeah. I got something better for you. And then we're all like, you don't know any better. And not, we know what we want too, but sometimes it's like, oh, that could have really been bad for me.
Right. And like, you can't actually see what would be better for you at the time,
right,
or coming up or whatever. So yeah, because maybe you don't know that thing's an option. I didn't know that thing was an option that ended up coming around, so yeah, I mean, it can be different for everybody, but yeah, I think there's a lot of like trusting that it will show up the right way.
Yep. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So one, I think with this is that there's fear behind it. So sometimes you have to acknowledge there's fear, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But like, to be open even with that fear. I think number two, you do have to think big. Like, so what other options are there for me? Because sometimes, like, when you think that way, you go, I didn't even think of that. Like, I didn't even, oh my God, that could happen. Like,
Yeah.
And then number three, I think it's also really crucial to be uncomfortable with to be comfortable with the uncomfortableness.
Oh, that's a good one too, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to sit in that, like, not knowing for a little while. And I know that that can be very stressful, but if you can hold on for that short period of time, hopefully, fingers crossed, then it'll all come together.
It does. And sometimes you're not ready for that. It takes time to get there.
People will say to me, everything happens for a reason. And I think that sometimes at certain moments you can't hear that. And I get that. And I mean, like, everything happens for a reason. It's a little like generic, but I think, it can be irritating. But I also think, like, all right, that wasn't for me.
Right.
So something else better is coming in.
100%. And it can suck trying to get there, because I remember when I was trying to get back in the workforce, I would be really close and then it would go away, but it ended up showing up later, and I was depressed, y'all. But it ended up later that I ended up stepping into jobs that weren't what I thought I wanted or where I wanted to be, but working back up to where I could be. And I kind of am getting close to my goal now in a way, which is great, but it did take 6 years. But I was just a stay-at-home mom. I hadn't been in the workforce for a while.
For a long time,
being a mom at home is a different kind of workforce, and I'm not like crapping on in any way, shape, or form. But these jobs that I wanted, if I had taken them at the time, it would have totally like messed up our childcare situation and all this kind of stuff. And so even though I couldn't see that at the time, like when I look back at it, it makes sense the way that it's kind of gone. So I have to kind of be like, okay, I trust you. Thank you for, setting us up that way. So I don't know.
No, I think it's just us.
I'm feeling self-conscious, because there is a lot of just like platitude-y kind of stuff, especially around manifestation and like money manifestation, that can get toxic really quickly. And I'm just trying to be like, some of this might sound the same, but we're not coming from the same place.
No.
And if you have any questions or want clarification, you guys can always like email us. You can join our Patreon, where we're doing even more work around this, and we're going to go deeper on things.
it's something that we all think about. And I know that we all have feelings
Yeah.
around it. It's not like one of those things like, if it was that easy, we all be like, all right, today we're going to get $1,000 to pay off that bill. And then
Right.
boom, and it'd show up and that would be it.
And
Like,
it's
ooh.
right.
Yeah, no.
Right.
It's like, where am I going to find that $1,000? And where, I know it's not on my couch. Where am I doing this? So this is a lot of like,
Right.
we're going to create the space for that money to come in for you. Like we're working,
Right.
helping you work. So it's not just like,
So toxic positivity, you just think it and it's here. Oh my God, it's amazing.
no, it's like, okay, we're going to think
Here's
it, but
the
then we're going to
work.
do the work
Right.
behind it to make
Right.
sure that comes through
Exactly.
for us. So that's where everybody, not everybody, but that's where some people get it wrong, is like, I just need to think it and it'll happen. True. But I don't know. The universe likes to see you got a little bit behind that. So
Yeah.
for everybody working hard out there, I know it's going to get better. It's just, I know when I'm in a fear space, and again, it's for very specific reasons. It's like, sometimes I have to go, okay, all right, I know I can do this part in it. Someone out there has got to help me with that part of it, but I'm going to do what I need to do and try to keep focused that it's going to be okay. So it's not, it's not toxic positivity to me is just so like, it's going to be fine. It's like, but is it going to be fine?
Like, yeah. And like, don't shut me down as a person when I'm trying to be vulnerable and talk to you about things, like, or dismissive or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that can go into it that can like be damaging. Mm-hmm. So
not our intention.
Morose, but not our intention. So,
you're going to find, just think health and you'll be healthy.
That's not, just think money and you'll get money.
If only. Right? Only.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But...
We're not quite there yet.
No, but we got
our best.
We got you guys, and you're with us on this journey. So we know where you are. You know where we are. We're trying. Yeah. So
we all are, and world is crazy right now, and that adds layers to things. And but that doesn't mean that like your guides and stuff aren't looking out for you and trying to help you when you're working with them.
Amen.
Just might not show up in the time frame or way that you would like to or expect it to.
Well, what's that? What do you mean it's not going to show up exactly when I want it to show? What?
Damn it.
Look, I thought about it. Why isn't it here right now? Why isn't the Corvette in my driveway? I've been thinking about that Corvette for a while. Where is it?
Where is it?
But I haven't done anything to try to get that Corvette. Haven't looked at Corvettes. I mean, I haven't done
I know
anything.
what you mean. Yeah. Right.
But why isn't my Corvette in my driveway? What happened?
Right.
If only. We're not there yet. That's what I keep saying. Some point we'll be able to manifest. We're just not there yet. That's my hope. It's my dream. We're just gonna be able to
just
manifest
like a bewitched Samantha style.
Yeah.
Just like and there it is. Yay! Which was like 100% who I wanted to be when I grew up. Totally. But anyway,
I'm still trying.
I know, right?
I'm still trying. Wait, you've given up? I haven't given up. I'm still trying to get the nose thing down.
I can't.
My nose won't move. No. Well, we hope you enjoyed this mini episode, guys. We will be back with much longer episodes. We'll be talking about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan and all the rest of them as we go along. So thanks for listening. We appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at High Priestess Hype Club, and subscribe to us on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on now, because we're back every Thursday to hype you up. Email us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com and tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.